Hood Postman, City, Hood, Click. Let's go.
About humanity, putting truth in these lines while they busy feeding lies. When you got that tunnel vision, gotta open up your eyes. Wake up and go to sleep. Man, I'm praying all times. And to my guys, ain't no other side. This for my brothers, I'ma pray we all shine. Lock the door. Go ahead, lock the door. Lock the door. Go ahead, lock the door. Yeah, you already know.
Depending on the lessons, some people eat, some people learn. But the game is going to send you a bill. Lock the door.
Lock the door. The game is going to send you a bill. Shout out to the Mailroom Nation, the Mailroom Goons. I am Professor Melly Mill, the Hood Postman. Be sure to click that notification bell, like, subscribe, and share. Drop a comment down below. So when this dope content hit, it'll feel like it's the 1st and the 15th. Welcome to the mail. When you come in, take a look at your mind, examine which is your heart. If you ring that bell, I'm going to bring that mail. You can go anywhere in the world to get a couple of lives, but I'm coming right here to give you the truth, and the truth you shall receive. This is not a glorification or a glamorization, always education. Get on the bus and let me take you to school. What's good? Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Henry. Shout out to Romaine Bennett. What's going on? RDL, what's going on? Marlena William, Postmaster General in the house. What's good, people? What's good? What's good? We here for another story time. And I think story time is more important because here's the thing. History is medicine for a sick mind because within history, it has a variety of human experiences we could teach and learn from. And if we look at the educational aspect of what we do here at the Hood Postman over here with the mailroom and the mailroom goons and the mailroom nations, we want to always keep trying to elevate. We build up before we tear down. There's a lot of podcasts, well, not a lot of podcasts, maybe YouTube shows that just literally just come in to destroy. They don't do nothing good. They don't add nothing. They don't give anything. All they do is just demean, degradation, misogyny, and it just tear down. I don't know how they do it every day and wake up with a sober mind, but obviously that's their thing. So here we are, guys. Again, before they had handguns, they had hand guys. Man up out there. I believe that the era that I grew up in which I grew up in, revolutionized a beginning of a new artistic expression of Black culture. We highlighted aspects of where that were initially overlooked. Because let's be honest, we came up in a time when there was a lot of oppression, there was a lot of racism, and there was just not a lot of programs. All the CETA programs and all the YA and all the after school was just being teared down. Little League baseball, this is non-existent no more in the Black community. This created the vacuum where the cravings that stem from empirical behaviors associated with gang-related quests began to grow. Took off like a wildfire. And a lot of these people I met during this time. And one of those people we're going to talk about today, Leebo, Simba, the general himself from Fronthood. Rest in peace. Another library, as I like to call him, because all the all the things that he had been through and everything, all the roads and alleys and parks he had been in, and from the times where let's see, it was him, Phil. I met him, Phil. Phil was from Pocket, Ruffian, Cable, and Bay Rob. Around about the same time, I already knew Big P, and I knew Jobo. Jobo, because Jobo went with this girl, sister that I was dating. I was dating Aretha Drake, and he was dating Lois Steen Drake. So I knew Jobo from the 70s and others from over there. But again, I met these guys, and they was coming over to Sag House over on Rose. We would chill and be, that's when we was connecting what everybody knew as the Front Tanner, the Front Tanner. So, and he was always in the company of, let's see, Big P, Kurt, Jobo, Bay Rob, Cabo, let's see, Junebug, Tonebone, rest in peace. God, man, that's another name, man. Tonebone, rest in peace. The band was in there. The band was around, y'all. We can't leave out the band. Maurice Venable, Master Devil, Big John, yeah, just to name a few guys, just to name a few. And then my cousin Will and all them, they came a little bit under them, but they were around as well, and me and Simba, which is Leebo, the general, we got a little closer because later on, I was always on the Gondo or I was on 124, right? Because I started dating this other girl named Melanie Henderson. She was part of the Honey Girls, right? The Honey Girls consisted of Melody, Nita Hicks, Kathy Green, Noni. Let's see, what was the other girl? Bina Piper was in the Honey Girls. Silbo. So Jobo was going with, Leebo was dating Silbo, and I was dating Melody. And I think, was it Tonebone? I think Tonebone was going with Jeannie at that time. So, and then my homie T-Bone was talking. So it was a lot going on back there, guys. There was a lot going on. So yeah, but we had formulated this thing, Front Tanner. And the Front Tanner came together because of what happened to Norman Gibbs, what was Big Scrab's little brother in the canal behind Centennial. He was brutally gunned down, murdered. And we responded to that. We really responded to say myself, Gangster, just all our homies. I don't even remember everybody. Bad Habit Rabbit, J-Dog, Pep, just everybody that was around during that time. Just a lot of Tanners. And then there was John Boy from the Pocket, Bill from the Pocket, and in the Corner Pocket, we all connected back then. Bill from the Pocket, Celestine from the Pocket, John Boy from the Pocket, the Bam, he was there. We all met on 130th at Leebo, where Leebo lived, right? And then we went up to El Segundo Park. You talking about at least 100 and something Crips, at least. And our plan was that we was finna travel that same route, that back where the run here used to travel and go to Centennial. To get to Centennial, we was about to travel that canal and go up, and we was gonna pop up on the west side. That was our initial thought behind, and our reaction to what happened to Norman, the loss of Norman Gibbs. We didn't take that lightly. We was just totally caught off guard by what happened to him and why it happened. And what initially happened is that when we was gathering over there at Leebo's house, Compton PD pulled up Reggie Beckman and all the rest of the Big Red Mason and all the Preston and all them dudes pull up, jumped out on us, and drew down and they forced us because it was me, Gangster. Gangster had just got that Candy Apple 5 at the time from not from John, Rod Parker Boulevard. And I had the Black Grand Prix, a couple other homies had cars, but we had homies like sitting on top of the car on bicycles. I'm talking about homies just walking. We caravan all the way from Santana, went up Stockton, and went all the way up, and we made it to 130th, and that's when the police rushed us all, and they broke that up. They broke that situation up because I think they saw where it was about to go and what it was going to possibly lead to. There was a lot of possibilities, not that it transpired or any of that, So yeah, Leebo was quite active in the CCO as well, very charismatic, very intelligent, astute. Swahili was like, he had one of the best knowledgeable Swahili speakers that probably was out there. He really, him and Monster Cody was really, really good at it. They soaked it up really well and took the lessons, you know what I mean? Because they were, CCO with one requirement, writing essays, study time, and being disciplined. So in those places, they taught discipline. And one of the things that brought Leebo to that circumstance and that situation is when he caught that carjacking. And the carjacking took him to, that was simply just too many Crips. That carjacking took him to that circumstance to where he was arrested, and then he got all that time. At that time, I don't even know if they even called it a carjacking at the time he caught that time. But yeah, that's what happened to it. Darrell Kinsey. What's going on, bro? Bowhead. Oh yeah, Bowhead. Yeah. Right on, bro. I appreciate that. But yeah, I just want to, highlight that, because on the Gondo was Cue Ball, Tidy Bow, Dirt, Duck, and all this. I remember Woman used to be over there with the vet. Yeah, Woman. I think she rests in peace. And so I met all them people back then, and it was just that time, the communications and how we related one another was really, really, really good. Bartender, shout out to Melly Mary all the way from Florida. Appreciate you. The communications was super good back then. We didn't hold back. I think, the calmer you are, the clearer you think, and it lets your decisions come from a place of peace and not reaction. And I had to grow to that because back then, man, we was ferocious, man. We was just running up against anything and not really thinking things through. Just, going in head first, all head, nobody, not really fully understanding the consequences and the circumstances of which, can lead to even more life or loss of life, or people winding up with long prison terms. And we don't fully look at that correctly, you know what I mean? And we get into our own thinking in our own spaces, and we make rash decisions, and then really don't fare well. And when you talk about what are the consequences of subjecting yourself to such thing that's not necessarily seen in society as something that's part of the moral compass. Yeah. Shout out Marlena. What's going on? Monique, what's happening? Greetings. Hey, Monique, how are you? We're talking about Leebo today, and I always like to talk about these guys because he was a staple over there, and he had acquired a lot of knowledge, and people started calling him the general, you know what I mean? And rightfully so, he earned that. That's not given. He earned that title. and I'm sure Bam would agree with me on that, and many more would agree with me. And this is like the second one in like the last few months, because we're going all the way back to John Washington, lost John Washington. That was another. John Washington was one of the pioneers, the builder of the Front Brothers, who put that foundation together. Yeah, I forgot about Little Crip. Gerald Miles, I forgot about him. Yeah. And Gerald actually grew up down the street from me on Spring Street. Him and his brother Darnell. Darnell is from my neighborhood, original Oaks Park. But yeah, Gerald was over there, Little Crip. So he was a part of that too. So can't leave him out. Yeah, so what's your guys' thoughts on anything? Did any guys in the chat ever knew who Leebo was, or had encounters with him, or had conversations with him? Anybody in the chat? What's up, Dominic? Bartender. How you get that name, man? that was the big homie, bartender. How you get that name? The bartender. I know how bartender got it from Ludus Park. Really grew up in Oaks Park, claimed Ludus. I know how he got the name, but how did you get the name? The bartender. I always hear people talk about faith and faith this, faith that, and often when I delve into something, I dissect it and look at it, and try to get my head on why we are led to believe certain things in society. Faith is a broad term to me, and that it can mean a number of different things when I think about it in perspective. And religion is called faith based for me because it's not reality based. Because the reality of, and just looking at observable reality, when things are happening in a society, it really don't matter how much you pray about it. If that's the destination, or that's the destiny of that circumstance or situation or person, there's hardly nothing you can do about it. I mean, maybe it makes us feel better, when we pray about it, I imagine. But I just look at it like this, that if I talk to the higher spirit, or the creator that created both the heavens and earth and everything in between, I believe that it becomes a metaphysical thing. And when you speak out in terms of things that become physical, right? Because words can become powerful, and they will reveal the physical aspect of it. I think that's what praying is to me. But we have to not do it in silent. We have to actually verbalize it and put it out, because I've asked countless of times for the Creator to increase me in intellect, knowledge, and understanding, and just give me the notification to understand things, and just be patient with people, and not haste to put my thought process on it, whatever that may be, because I can wake up and not even be in the right frame of mind, and just look at something and make a harsh or rash decision, and it be incorrect. I want to always be, kind of just calm and clean, and have that demeanor to where I'm thinking correctly, and don't impose myself on anybody or whatever they may feel that, because a lot of our brothers and sisters are a part of what we call religion, and they wholeheartedly believe in it. And I don't try to take that away from them. And I think that's, what makes them comfortable at night. It just so happened to make me comfortable. Need Big Bowhead on here. Well, get him on here, bro. You want him on here, get him on here. I ain't got no problem with him being on here. I ain't got no problem with him being on here. Sometimes, shout out to King Mike. Sherry Combs, are you having a BAM on tonight to speak on Leebo? No, I haven't talked to Bam. I haven't talked to Bam at all. But if he come on, definitely, he can definitely jump in. You know how that is. I would have to check with Bam and see what he actually got going on to see what his availability is. And yeah, we definitely would love to have him on, but sometimes he's busy doing whatever he does, you know. What's going on, Sharon? How you doing? Get those likes up. We need Big Bowhead on here to talk about it. Yeah, that see, and that's the thing about the internet and the conversations I have and the deeper and the type of people that I can get on, the ones that step up and are willing to offer to come on, those usually the guys that follow through. But then there's a lot of guys that you guys don't know behind the scene. There's a lot of guys. They'll tell me they want to do it, or no, I ask them and they say yeah, and then with they'll go tell somebody who has a narrow frame of thinking. They become narrow minded and they look at everything because they look at everything from the negative. So here's what I say: establish the facts, eliminate the negatives, and choose your best options. So what happens with individuals, because they have narrow frame of thinking, they automatically discard it, thinking that it's harmful and it's not communicative in a way to where it brings about a broader good. So because they come from negativity and their life has been negative, they won't see the good in it. They won't see that if we get on here and talk about these things, maybe these kids are listening and they won't involve themselves in it. They won't have nothing to do with it, you know. We're, sorry about that. I got something on my screen. Let's see, wipe it off. And they won't get engaged and be affected and impacted by what we're saying. I mean, they'll be impacted in a positive way and not just be taken for granted that this is what they supposed to be or don't be, Then if we give them the facts, and they look at it and say, "Wow, I don't want to go to the penitentiary. I don't want to wind up dead. I don't want to wind up in a wheelchair. That's not what I want for my life," because that's what's happening. You spend too much time involved in gang culture or gang banging, one or three of those things is going to happen to you. That's a fact. You won't be able to avoid it. Because if you really think about it, gang banging is maybe a millisecond of someone's life. If you expect to survive it, there's times when you bang and there's times when you don't bang. But if you're doing it every day, non-stop, and you out there with the other individuals that's out there that's doing it non-stop, one or two things gonna happen. Either they gonna go to the graveyard or you going to the graveyard. But the streets is undefeated. The streets gonna still be there, and you're gonna be laid out there in that graveyard with countless of other Pyrus or Bloods or Crips or Hoovers or Crip gangs, and everybody in that graveyard. Ain't nobody arguing, nobody dissing, nobody waving their rags at each other. It's peaceful, quiet, and still. And you laid there, you have no clue what's going on because your life has been eliminated. People will come off every now and then and put some flowers on your grave and clean your headstone off or something, and you know, and you know, that's about the bulk of it. Because one thing about it, when you're gone, your money, your cars, your wife or woman or kids, none of them is going in that box with you. Everybody get to go back to whatever their life is, and you're going down in the hole. And that's that. I don't care how much work you put in, how tough you was, or how flamboyant you was, how braggadocious you was, or how many people you beat up, or how many people you shot. Because life, consequences, life is like a rubber band. And karma, you can only stretch it so far or pop, and it come back and slap you in the face. That's just the way that works. And if you don't believe that, keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing, and you will find out sooner than later that everything I just told you is true. The internet has become a platform for black folks to reach out to the younger generations and share real life experiences. I agree with that. I think that's very vital and important that we should continue to do that because let's think if I had been able to get before Leebo passed, been able to get him on, him sharing some of them stories that, just all the change of life that he been through. I knew his sister, I think her name was Sharita, Rita. Uh, yeah, appreciate that. Appreciate that. Thank you. Is that King Mike? King Mike, my guy. Right on, King Mike. Right on, man. Uh, right on, King Mike. Uh, are you having a bam? No, that was earlier. Yeah, so yeah, mail call. That's King Mike. He's at the mail call. Shout out to King Mike. Yeah, so I think let me see where I was at. That had I been able to get him on and some of the information and knowledge he would have been able to share, definitely would have helped some youngster. Definitely. Like I say, man, when I first connected with them, man, Leebo, Cabo, Ruffian, Phil from the pocket, they was all together. And who else was with him? Yeah. Bay Rob, yeah. And, and we used to all just come on rolls and be kicking it at SAG house, SAG, H&H, Hub, and T-Bone. And those were the brothers, four brothers, SAG, H&H, T-Bone, and Hub. And then they had Sister Jobo, Sita, and Bev. So now H&H rest in peace, Hub rest in peace, and Bev rest in peace. Yeah, Sag don't lost three siblings. Shout out to the homie Sag. Sag has always been the crip. He's always been that. Can't take that from him. Yeah, so any more questions in regards to Leebo or this gang culture and how you feel about it? What would we continuously need to work on? And words that manifest the physical, the power of being able to speak things into existence and change the narratives and not just fall for what we've been taught in Western culture society by that vehicle of spiritual and intellectual enslavement, that indoctrination. You know how I feel about that. Niggas was created in America. The nigga didn't exist nowhere else. It was created here in America. So that is a social construct. Uh-huh. And that is theft. That's thievery. Everything here is attained by theft, brutality, and murder. And then they extended the cultural conditioning through the education system, the religious system, and all other institutions that and that's part of our problem too, is that God created order. He didn't create institutions and systems. Those are all constructs created by man for his own selfish benefit. And a lot of times those benefits are deserving to people that have extreme amount of money, or the complexion for the protection. If you don't have the complexion for the protection, then you fall under a whole different circumstance, because we looking at P. Diddy Combs, right? Now, P. Diddy Combs is in there for sexual abuse, sexual trafficking, and then you see the guy for Abercrombie Finch, where he's out walking around like there's nothing to worry about. He has a same. He is in there for sex trafficking with boys. Yeah, with boys. And he's walking around like he don't have a care in the world. Look at the guy, the Hollywood producer, the guy. He had bail. All the allegations and things that he was looking against. You know, your mail happened to a situation with your BYOG Frog. Did you send him? Huh? Bro, I don't know I don't even see Frog. Is Frog still on the internet? Maybe go research him, and then you can see me every day that I come on here. I guess you would have to go to his page and see what he's doing. Bartender, I don't know. I don't keep up with anybody. I just concern myself with me and the people that, here's the thing, guys. Make your circle a square. That way you can see everybody that's in your corner. See? And if you understand what I just said, you know that the streets, the sidewalk, the streets don't belong to everybody. That's why they created the sidewalk. And sometimes we run. Christopher Munoz was a seat of Biden pardon his son. Yeah, he did. We see everybody run out here, and then they run out of. They have limited capacity to speak upon subject matter. There's religion, there's everyday activity, there's societal issues, there's politics, there's gang stuff. There's a lot of different subjects that people can expound and expand on. But if your capacity is limited to just talking about where you grew up at or just a couple of streets, then that tends to run out sooner than later. And I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad or feel little about that. But if you're not reading, if you're not expanding your mind, and you're not on some universal global understanding, then 1 or 2 years into this, man, it can get rough for you. So yeah, I've been doing this for quite some time, and I read a lot of different books. I listen to a lot of different people. Sometimes people call me, and you'd be surprised at some of the people. They won't come on the internet, but they'll talk to me on the phone. Like I talked to Big Jack before. You never seen Jack on the internet. That's Jack that used to buff with Tookie and Big Dog, Mad Dog David Clark, and Big Jack that actually buffed with Craig Munson and all that stuff. Yeah, talk to him. Talk to, a few people. I can't even think of everybody that, that talked to. My guy, damn, I can't even think. He's from 111. Brown, O'Neal Brown, Hawk. I talked to all of them, bro. And then Mom Bia put me on the phone with various different people. I talked to Trick, and a lot of different people, just off record. Chairman Fred Hampton, the guy big down there from the Gangster Disciples and stuff. I can't even think his name, but it is one of the big wigs, one of the governors, Talk to a lot of different people about a lot of different things, but to get them to come on the show and get them to be comfortable with it, even Nate. Nobody's ever talked to Nate Tillman on the internet, but I can talk to him on the phone. knock out Nate Tillman. Yeah, talk to him on the phone. You know, Nate got a cold story. Yeah, Big Nate Tillman, cold story. But he was one of them ones behind the wall. You know. So yeah, there's a lot of people that'll talk to you off record. I talk to Marcellus all the time. Talk to Big Ant on the phone. Suma. I talked to Tabari. He was another CCO. So I talked to a lot of different people, bro. But getting them to see exactly how to navigate this corner of the space, it's not always easy. Scorpio. Yup. What's up, Ant Dog? I know a lot of Grape Streets. Been doing, man. Me and Big Bruno done time. Tiata. Let's see. Elementary. A lot of grapes. The Hunchos. Oh, you the little brother. What's going on? What's going on? What's it called a name? Uh, Frank, Philistine. There's so many people I could tell you about great, man. I can't even think of all their names. All these gangs members you haven't named yet. Are there any gang members you haven't named yet? Yeah, there's a lot of them. Bro, it's a lot of them. Tell me, it's a lot of them. I talked to quite a few Denver Lanes. I talked to dude from Crenshaw Mafia. He's part of the bloodline. What's his name? He's a general over there. He started Crenshaw Mafia. I can't even think his name, but yeah, dudes from the jungle, dudes from the Biddy, dudes from Bebop Watts. Just a lot of different people. A lot of cats from Long Beach, Watts, LA. And now I'm on here with TikTok from Gear. TikTok, what you guys think about Tik? And there's so many rest in peace too, right? And then some of them die taking a whole library with them. They're just and it's unfortunate because they become what is known as empathetic. Empathetic is like when you remove yourself from the equation, right? And your life is going pretty well, but you don't want nothing that you've done in the past that could possibly upset your future. And it's not even that it can even do that because there are statute of limitations on everything except for murder. So obviously you wouldn't get on the internet talking about no murders. That's common sense. But anything that happened 10 and 20 and 30 and 40, 50 years ago, it's entirely impossible for them to prosecute you based on if you understand the law. If you understand the law. And then there's a way to talk about things because even when I was talking to Membrane talked about some stuff and I had to go back and question it myself. And like I took a certain part out, but yeah, he talked about some stuff and it was like right up to the line, right? But I said, no, I didn't want to give them because here's the thing. If you don't give them time, dates, and names of when that circumstance happened, how it happened, and you don't give a full detailed description of everything, it's hard for anybody to come and say, hey, I'm going to prosecute you on. That is very difficult thing to do. I know a lot of Linwood neighborhoods. I know a lot of them. They got so much turmoil in Linwood neighborhood that they fight the history and it's aspects of their history that they don't necessarily want out there. So they don't want their homeboys talking about it. Like when I was going to talk to Earn, and because Earn actually was one of the pioneers. Him, Marcus McFall, and the Marcus McFall used to actually be a Piru. Uh, they didn't want to talk about it, or they didn't want him to talk about it because they felt he put a stain on the name because he did some stuff. He used the Mount Baal method. You know what I mean? Instead of riding when he had to ride, he mouthed out on it, and that tarnished his record. But yeah, he was one of the guys over there. Yeah, I know Flacco, I know D Dog, I know Hammer, I knew Rufus. What's the a guy name? I can't even think his name. But anyway, a lot of them. Yeah, I know a lot of them too as well. So yeah, they had a lot of politics over there. A lot of politics. See, so when the politicking and the misguided messaging start ruling the common sense, then you can't. It just you're not gonna be able to get through it. You're just not because they have such a narrow way of thinking that they can't possibly see outside of whatever four corners that they travel each day on a daily basis. So it's hard for them to get outside of that, And me or nobody else can make them see that. Just think about it. If you spend 30 to 40, 50 years sitting on one corner, going to one liquor store and one gas station, and you went to one hamburger stand, whatever it may be, your world is so freaking limited that it's impossible to tell you that it's a better restaurant 5 blocks over if you've been going to the same one for 10 to 20 years. You're not going to hear it. Short D Dog, right on. That would suck. It's impossible to make them see it. You're not going to be able to make them see it because their mind hasn't expanded. Have you seen guys, right? It's 2024, right? They'll still be wearing creases in their pants. They'll still be wearing Pendletons. They'll be still wearing golf caps. And this is 2024, but they have an 80s, 90s look. If that's what you're seeing on them, that's what they're projecting, 9 chances out of 10, their collective mindset is still in the 80s or 90s. They haven't been progressive. They haven't even looked at the fact that they should have been growing. Because here's the thing, whether change is occurring every second, every nanosecond, whether you want to be a part of it or not, it's happening. But what winds up happening on the observable reality side of it, when I'm looking at you, I can see that the way you dress or the words you're choosing and how you speak and your actions and your demonstration is like still the same way it was 20, 30 years ago. I know that's where your mind is at. I know you're stuck there. Yeah, business people on the hood can't make no money because of the gangs. So if your mind is stuck there, how can I convince you that it's something better? That's why they use that story to make everybody think that Columbus discovered America. It's because at one time they was a stagnated people. And then once they start creating narratives, they start using Borgia to and had Michelangelo paint him as the face of Jesus, and they start changing the narrative. They start recreating their own story, and then they got everybody to buy into it, you know. Then they create the history in the way they want to see. Who wins the war get to write the story, right? His story. Exactly. Exactly, JC. Impossible, right? But yet, think about how many years did they tell that story? How many years? When was it that black people realized that it was a lie? What's up, Ronnie Flood? How you doing? When did they determine that everything that you was learning in the education system in the Board of Education in the United States of America was all misdirected, was all meant to marginalize, undervalue, and underestimate your culture, but prop theirs up to make them seem like they had the greater good. I tell you, those who created the law was the worst in law. Those who broke the law was just victims of circumstances and situations created by those who wrote the law. They wrote the law in a way that it would directly impact and affect you. Based on penal code, based on they still wanted to hold your feet to the slave system. So how better to do it? Put it in the law. That's why when you go read the 14th Amendment, they talk about freedom and servitude unless you've been convicted, dutifully convicted of a felony. That way, if you convicted of a felony, they get to keep you there. So let's create laws to where if we set these scenarios and traps, we know they're gonna bite because we got them in poverty. We're making them suffer. So we instinctively we got to eat, live, shelter, water, and all that. We're gonna survive. We want to survive. We want to take care of ourselves, right? But they're putting so much pressure on us and not allowing us into the workforce. It was tough for black people to get into the workforce. That's one of the reasons why we wind up in California, because there was General Motors, there was Firestone, there was Goodyear, there was Alcoa, Jurgensen Steel, all these different big manufacturing jobs in California. And a lot of people that migrated from the South came here for those good jobs. Yeah, you're right, Rodney Flood. You're right. So when they came for these jobs, there was upper mobility, right? There was upper mobility for the black man and woman. And sooner or later, they found a way, because it's not Jim Crow not back then, but now it's Jim Crow Esquire, and it's always been about the law. They write the law in a way that is going to specifically impact and affect you. You don't have the complexion for the protection. It's going to impact you. It's just that simple, guys. And when we stick our head in the sand and we get connected to a lot of this religious stuff, I think it's a broad term. I think religion is just faith is a broad term, actually. And we get caught up in that in a number of things, including hope and religion. And then we wind up believing some things, and we could be looking at things that challenge what we believe. But then that cognitive dissonance, that you're so endowed and dialed into the faith base of it, you don't want to be caught up thinking that you're doing something against Jesus. And when you get caught up in that, you can't see the reality. You can't see the forest for the trees. And that's part of the problem. And I ain't got nothing wrong. I'm not knocking y'all. Y'all want to believe in Jesus or believe in that, this and that and the third. Go ahead, do your thing. I'm just not here for it. I don't have time. So many other things I could be invested in and wasting time with that for some dude to be standing behind a pulpit convincing me to get me dig deeper into my pocket. I need to sow a seed and all that different stuff. I don't have no time. Turn over your neighbor. I love you and I love you too and all that. Like Snoop Dogg would say, I like to thank myself. I like to thank me. I like to continue to build on me. Or however you put that, however you frame that. Let me see what this guy said. Let's see. Let's see. We live with a legal system that makes you a criminal for being a father. Yes, we don't pay what the courts say to our lives, and freedom is monopolized by the legal system in place. Yes, true statement, JC. True statement. But at the same time, JC, that you saying that, they'll find another Negro, and I'll say this lightly, need to grow to come counter what you're saying, even though what you're saying makes a world of sense. There'll be another Negro that go against you, bro. They have hired agent provocateurs since 1710. The Act of 1710, meritorious manumissions, is the act where a slave can be granted freedom if he snitch, invest, or make something for white folks to make money off of, and he stay loyal and humble to white supremacy. They would grant that Negro freedom because they can look for that Negro to come sit amongst the other blacks that are trying to create a revolution or create a narrative where we're going to pull ourselves out of this circumstance, and they'll derail the whole thing based on feelings, selfishness, and money. That's it. So when I'm on the internet or I'm on my platform and I'm talking about, I'm just, giving you guys the outright facts about certain things. They're going to be Negroes that come in, and for whatever reason, they're going to talk whatever they talk, and they're going to say whatever they say, and they're going to believe whatever they believe. And there ain't nothing I can do about that. It ain't nothing. I'm powerless over people, places, and situations. Only thing I can do is tell you what I know and protect you from what I feel. See, because feelings is emotions. And once something becomes emotionalized, it becomes reactionary. And that's no good for us as a people. But there were so many black men this day and time that's been raised by single parent homes, and they don't know what it is to have that stable, still, calm demeanor and collective, and understand that this may not be meant for me. Let me understand it a little better before I react to it. You understand? Some people are just very, very reactionary. I intellectually respond, but I emotionally react. I had two parents, father and a mother. I learned from both of them. And I think that's important, especially for the black male and the female child. Both, is that we have both parents because we get two perspectives, and it keeps us in the middle. It gives us balance. And once again, I talked about the natural order of things, right? God created order. Man created systems, institution, child support, social assistance, and all these other programs are institutions that man created. And once they put you in these systems, it's like trying to pull yourself out the mouth of a shark. Yeah, they in their feelings, Rodney. You're right about that. So when we on here talking and we just keeping it real, keeping it 100, keeping it in band, as they say, and our four actually say off the back. Yeah. So, when we doing that, I like that youngster. I think he's a very entertaining individual. Very have a lot of energy, and I just hope that at some point he just start informing himself and get real informational because he has the strength, he has the power, he has the clout. All he got to do is to start informing himself, just pouring information into his everything else that he has, and he'll be brilliant. He'll be brilliant. Yeah, you can only eat at the restaurant in your neighborhood, and that is some people's reality, Rodney. That's some real stuff, bro. I got a homeboy right now, and I'm telling him I'm finna go. Oh no, Melly, I don't go over there. You mean you don't go over there? What is that about? I don't even think about stuff like that anymore. You know, whether I'm over here, over there. I mean, one day I went to Golden Bird. I wanted some Golden Bird chicken. Golden Bird is on Avalon and 135th. I grew up on Avalon 135th. I don't think nothing about it. So I go there and get me some Golden Bird. So when I'm waiting on the chicken to come out, and I go to the little store behind. So behind there, it's maybe about 10 Bloods. They got like a little shop or something over there. I don't think nothing about it. They looked up and saw me. And matter of fact, they recognized who I was, and we chopped it up. I didn't feel no type of way or anything. I mean, I felt like, dude, I'm on some grown man stuff. I'm not here to impede or pry or be overly concerned about, what you guys is doing as far as being Bloods or Pyrus or none of that. Don't care. Don't care. I know it's a waste of time. I know you're wasting valuable time with something that you could be much further ahead if you just harness these things that give you the upper mobility in this life. And that's education, number one. But proper education, not this down on Down syndrome education that they try to teach us in the public school system, you know. But anyway, that's my take on everything. I hope you guys are having an amazing, incredible day. Continue to ask your creator to increase you in intellect, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and at the same time, purify your heart. And just keep an open mind that there's more to know. There's more to know. Don't never let anybody tell you just because they hand you a Bible or Quran or any religious book that this is all you need. No, it's not. That is not true. Those are people that wish to control you and keep you in a certain way of thinking. That way you don't you don't find yourself in a better space and position in life. Continue to grow, continue to learn, continue to inspire, continue to give, encourage, and build on us. Let's see, what does this guy say about karate? I heard that Alonzo Williams on Gangster Chronicles say he had to take out extra premium endurance in the nightclubs that he would own in hoods because of the gangs. Yes, absolutely. You got to carry the right kind of insurance because you know that it's a strong possibility somebody's going to get killed at your establishment. And you got to be ready for that. They're going to hold you liable. People are going to sue you. But anyway, that's my take on it. Shout out to Marlon and Williams for always being here and always being here for it and sticking with me and always being at the forefront. Shout out to Mike. He's doing his thing. He's always been here. He's always here for it. Shout out to Rodney, JC, and everybody else that just come through, Dominique, Monique, and everybody else. My guy from Florida, bartender. And everybody else that's Ronnie Flood, of course, my guy. Big Ronnie, what's happening, bro? What's good? Tap in with me, Ronnie. I miss you, bro. Everybody that comes in, man. Yeah. Let's continue to do what we do. Let's continue to grow, renew, and find that investment that's going to help the whole community. Let's get a couple of $1 million and split it up amongst we. Let's get about few billions, $1 trillion, and split it up amongst we. There's 40 million black people in this country. Give every one of them $1 million. I think that would change our whole circumstance. Every black person get $1 million, and then you take it and invest it in one another. What would that life be? Right? But it's tax-free. I want it to be tax-free, right? Give every black person $1 million, tax-free, right? And give them 1 acre of land. They ain't got to give us 40. Tax-free $1 million and 1 acre of land. That's not a lot, is it? It's only 40 million. 40 million black people. Wouldn't that be incredible? But anyway, don't mind me just watching. I am Professor Melly Mill, the Hood Postman. Don't mind me just watching. Church moving. But you know what it is. Go ahead and lock that door. We gone.
Cali Finest, baby. Proof of grind all the time. Music money. Got a dollar sign. Hub City. I'm a street nigga, streets fuck with me. I'ma keep pushing products to the fans get me. It's guap off top, diamond Cartier. That nigga wall won't give a broke bitch the time of day. They see me climbing, they see me shining. That's hard work, proof of grinding. New money got me tipping in that 550. I leave bad man and I'm so pretty. I got that tech with me, that's my hater sprayer. Go big, grind now, nigga, play later. What can I say? I'm addicted to this paper stacking, and I don't talk about it, I just make it happen. Word on the block is that my shit go. Bricks for the low.
Lock the door, because we are gone.